Hello, guys. With the recent news that Tulsi Gabbard has switched or left the Democratic Party and became an independent, I expect her to probably convert to being a Republican candidate very soon, and she might even be a vice presidential candidate. Who knows? Trump might pick her. He's a wild card presidential candidate, so he might pick a wild card vice presidential nominee, especially because of his feud with Mike Pence now. Tulsi Gabbard has evolved a lot on the issues, and she's become pretty much a right winger in most of the issues. So I don't think she'll have a problem in getting the Republican base to vote for her. I mean, most Republicans like her when I speak to them, when I bring her up, so they really don't have that much problems with her, and she's pretty much shifted on pretty much nearly every issue when it comes to just substantive issues. So she's pretty much a Republican already. So let's get right into this. First few states. Iowa, she's going to win by over 10%. Biden's approval is pretty terrible in the state. Ohio, she's sort of populist with the way she speaks, so I think she'll do pretty decent in Ohio. And I think she has a real shot at winning the state by probably almost a safe margin. I say almost because I think it'll be about 9 or 8%. The state of Texas and Florida. Well, actually, Florida I think would be lean, but Texas I think she would win over most Texan voters here and win it by 6%. Florida probably win it by 3 or 4% against Joe Biden. Joe Biden's pretty unpopular in the state. In the state of Colorado, I think it would be a 9% victory for Joe Biden, while Virginia would be 7%, and New Mexico would be about 6%. Because I do think that Tulsi Gabbard can pull maybe some Bernie voters, even though some Bernie voters might not like how she shifted so far to the right. She might have some appeal at getting those more populist or anti-establishment voters into her camp in these states. In the state of Arizona, I think moderate Republicans would like that she used to be a Democrat and swapped parties. They might see her as a more independent sort of minded candidate, and that might go well with a lot of moderate voters in the state of Arizona, so I don't think she'll be able to win it. Same with Nevada as well. I think she'll be able to carry the state because I do think Nevada is becoming more Republican than Arizona nowadays, so they pretty much go hand in hand together, I think. And New Hampshire and Maine. Maine, I think Biden will be able to carry the state while Gabbard would win Maine second. New Hampshire, I still think Biden would be able to narrowly win over Gabbard here because it is becoming more of a Democratic-leaning state. Just because Gabbard, on the issues, she's evolved a lot to a more pro-war position. Even though she claims to be anti-war, there's certain statements in there that just indicate that she's kind of more pro-war than anti. So I do think Biden would have the edge there because of that. In the states of North Carolina, I think she'll be able to pull off a pretty narrow victory by like 2 or 3%, while Georgia would be probably a tilt Republican state. I do think Biden will be able to win over the more establishment voters here, and Georgia tends to like more establishment types of politicians. I mean, Biden won the state against Trump, and Biden was a bit more of an establishment leader than Trump was, even though they're both sort of establishment anyway. Nebraska's second, I think Biden still would pull off a victory here, while Wisconsin, I see going with Gabbard. Same with Pennsylvania, and honestly with Michigan too, I think she'll be able to pull off and take some anti-establishment voters here and some populist voters here, enough for her to win over these 3 Rust Belt states, while Minnesota would be lean Democratic. So that's my prediction of it was Joe Biden versus Tulsi Gabbard. Let me know what you think of this election prediction in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.